In this session, we are almost going to finish CSS, but the CSS is not going to finish anytime in your life. So these are some of the basic things that you should know in the CSS, but the advanced topics you can find it on the website given below. Okay, so this is going to be your last session, and hit the like button if you actually learn something from the session, and if there anything the first topic that is going to be done here is, okay, so let me see that we are live or not. Yeah, we are actually live. So let me check it once again that the session is being recorded at this very same. Okay. So I guess it is recording with obvious things. Okay. With that note, let's just, okay, let me just open that thing, this syllabus for today's session. The first thing that we are going to discuss is the CSS display, right? So what is CSS display? Okay, let's see. We are having a tag that is maybe the division tag, right? And I'm going to write over here something lorem ipsum, right? And you can see it over here, right? When I write another division tag, and again I will write the same lorem ipsum, then it will goes there, right? That means let me just close it, reduce the size, or increase and improve the screen, right? So this is the first division tag, this is the second division tag, right? So one thing that you will definitely notice is the division tag 1 is finished when another division tag is being placed. So let's see one more example that will demonstrate what is block and what is inline, right? Next I'm going to write span, and here I'm going to write lorem, right? So let's reload this and let's see. So to particularly separate them, let's open the developer tool of the browser. So this is Control Shift I, and it will open that one, right? So you can click the division tag and it will show you the blue segment, right? It is from the left to the top, and it is actually looks like a block, right? It looks like a block. The next one is the next one is the division tag, that is also the block, but it have occupied the whole thing, right? Next one is the span. It almost looks like a block, but actually it is something different, right? Let's just demonstrate it once. So basically the division tag have taken the full space from the left to right. It haven't it is not allowing other elements to utilize the space after magnum that is written in that block. It is not allowing other text to fix and that. The next one block is taking the block part, and this one also. Let's see what is why span is a little bit different. So if I place for example, so if I place another span tag and I will write lorem, then let's see how it actually looks like, right? So how it actually looks like. So this is the lorem of first one, and this is the second one. Okay, so one thing that you have noticed is the span tag, both of them are actually including each other, right? The place where one have ended, the another one started from there only. There is no actually particular block like this one, that each division tag having the different blocks, but the span one is actually including that one too. So basically just those span tags are actually the inline blocks or the inline elements, and these division tags are actually the block elements. So the block elements, they have their speciality and the characteristics to cover everything, every row, whole row from left to right, irrespective of the size required. And the property of inline is it will adjust depending on if there is some space, it will add the inline into them only. So the span tags actually are inline tags. They are not getting restricted that I'm not going to allow my free space to others. They are going to allow their free space to others, right? So these are some of the span tags, and these are the division tags. Division tags are actually we would say the block element, and span one is the inline element, right? So there are few examples like the p tag is also the block element. The span the most of the elements are actually block element. Image, span, and I would say anchor tags, these are the inline tags, right? So if you want to change, let me just give them a class with the division tag. Let me just give them a class called block class, and this one too, block block, right? And I would like to give them the division. Okay, not division. This is going to be class and inline class. And here I would also like to give the class inline. Okay, this is my keyboard's problem, but anyways, it happens actually due to the CSS I am using. But anyways, no problem with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to change the background of dot. So through dot tag I'm targeting those classes, and background color would be white, right? So these are the block elements with the art one dot inline one. Okay, dot, no, not dot, background color. Try to suggest it. Okay. These are inline one, the green one, and the dot block one is the is the block one, right? So that you understand the meaning of that one, right? Okay. So there is one more type that is called the inline block. Let's see about that. So for example, you have something that is called I would like to say, okay, so let's just see that how it is going to look like, right? Okay, so this one is the block one, block next block. This is inline one, and this is another inline, right? So they are actually utilizing their own spaces. They are actually having that. They have no restriction like these one. They are not going to allow other one to use the space between them. So first one is actually this one, and then you can see the a little gap between them. And next one is this one. Okay, that's look cool. You understand what is block and what is inline, right? So there is one more thing that is inline block. Basically, that is being used to make a particular that thing only. For example, let me just show you through an example. So, okay, for example, you have one span, and that is going to be lorem something 50, right? Not this one. Span. Please give me the emitting an option, but anyways. Okay, I got another span, right? Lorem. Let me just copy it once from here, right? Copy and let's just paste it. Okay, let's see how it is actually looking like. Okay, so is there any problem in that thing? Okay. So I think this live server is actually not working. That's so. Okay. Okay, there is something that is actually not favorable for the or that is the local host. Local host. I don't know why it is not working. Sometimes it happens, but no problem with that. You can actually open that thing from the file menu also. That is pretty okay. So where I have my folder is in the Zujogo, and you can find it over here. Learning CSS, and I just want to open this. Okay, open this with other application. Like I just want to open this. This right. So you're able to see that. Okay, so this is not saved. Okay, there is some problem in the VS Code only. I guess that is why it is not working like that, right? So you can see that the next span tag, that is an inline tag, is added to this one only, right? Because it is inline, it does not restrict itself to that one. So what if I give it an ID that is equals to inline block? Okay, that is not good enough, right? So let's just save it once and move to. I just want to target one ID line log. Let's see, it is going to change the color or not. Color to blue, right? So let's save it, right? Let's just save it. Actually, it is can't save, and refresh it. Okay, no problem with that. Okay. Sometimes it happens. Okay, so we got the blue color because of the CSS that we have made it. Okay, so but next thing that I want is to change the display. So you can actually change the display to from this place only. So I just want to change it from inline block extension host terminal unexpected. Okay, no problem with that. Okay, no problem. Sometimes it happens with VS Code. Okay, so now you see that the inline element that we have used is not actually taking that place, because we have changed it to inline block, like it is inline and actually working as a block. So this is an inline block. If you want to change a few of the property of the division tag, then you can target it from here only. Like if I want to change the display of like inline of the block element, then I can write it over here, right? And let's see that it is going to work. Yeah, exactly, it is going to work. They are actually working like the inline one, right? So you have got the point that what is inline and what is inline block. So that is actually very much important to understand, because most of the students are actually got confused in this concept only, right? So now let's talk about the overflow, right? Let's just talk about that one. Division, and let me just put 1000 character, 1000 words, right? So actually that is very much to see, but let's see how it is actually looking like. Okay, that doesn't make any problem, I guess. Okay, good. So what I want to do is, actually let me just remove it once, and what I have done is I have a change. Okay, so I just want to target that one only through div tag, and there are a few properties that I would like to discuss with you. That is the width, the how much width I want this division to take. Normally it is the block element, it will take the whole width, but if you want to specify that, we have already discussed it in the previous session. If you haven't checked that out, then go and please check those videos too. So I want to give that a width of, for example, I wanted to give the width of 300 pixel, right? So this is the width that I want. Okay, so 300 pixel are that this much width only, and that is why the division tag is taking this much thing. Okay, now cool. You can even set the height to, right? You can even set the height to like 1000 pixel, right? So but it is actually more than 1000 pixel. It is not going to understand that. So how to manage the overflows? You have the property called overflows, and next is that is a scrollable. So you can add these functions too. Like it have set the width to 300 and the height to this one, and rest of them is actually scrollable. You can do other things like you can make it hide visible, inherit and something like that. So the most popular one is scroll and the visible and the hidden one. Hidden one, it actually hides that. Let me just refresh it and actually hidden that thing, right? So this is the overflow property that we actually learn from this, right? Next property that we have to discuss is the float, right? So float, as the name suggests, that it will make it float to the right, and let's see that this one has float to the right only. You will take it to the left, maybe yes, and it will by default it is actually left. And the next one, maybe center is not available for that, but let's try. Maybe it happen, but no problem with that, right? So this is the float property that we have to discuss it, and we have seen that. Okay, so now it's the combinators, right? So for example, we are done with this one, right? So this one is completely done. Okay, let's just alt Z, delete this. Okay, cool. So for example, you are having a very big application where there are few many things in division tag, like there is division and there are paragraphs like lorem 10. There is some more thing like anchor tag, testing. There is one image tag that is something like that is broken, and a few other things too, right? So for example, what you just have the division tag only and this thing. And if you want to target just the p tag, right? I know there is only one p, then you can directly say that we can use only the p tag and we can do anything, right? For example, you want to change the color, right? So color is or I just increase the font size so that you can see that this is the p tag, right? So if you want the color to something like this much brown, let's see, the color has changed, right? So you can do that only. For example, you are having many p tags also, many p tags, lorem 50, many other p tags, lorem something like that. Okay, but you see the problem that if you want just this to target, you have to either give it a class or either give it a id, right? If you do not want others to get the same changes. There is one more thing that is called the combinators. Like we can actually went through multiple stages. Like for example, first you can target the division tag only, right? This is a very simple thing. You can target, there is only one division tag, right? In the division tag, you are having one p tag. Okay, the p tag. Next, now you can see the color to put it at blue violet, and let's see what it happens, and it actually changed the color. So what happened here is, this is called the combinators. Like first the division tag has been targeted, and then it moves to the p tag, and first it gets to the division tag and then it moves to the p tag, and then the color has been changed. I think you have got the point, and these are called as the combinators. For example, you are having some class over here or the id over here. It will actually work for both of them in the same way, right? For example, test. So you can target it over from here only, PST, and that p denotes that you want this thing. And for example, I have just changed the color. Then let's see if the color has changed or not. Okay, so this is how not actually it is going to help. So let's see, this is how it actually works. Okay, so through this actually combinators do not work like this only. So the previous one is actually right division, and now it actually works, but the class one is actually not that much worth it, right? So this is the combinators. Next is the pseudo classes, right? The pseudo classes. So the pseudo classes are basically, what happens is, for example, let's have one example. So for example, you are having a tag, right? That is for example, https zujo.co website link, right? I have created the Zujo.co website link, right? So what I want is uh, for a particular a tag, if someone hovers, that means if someone takes their mouse from over them. So I want the color to be for example, a green, right? Let's see it is working or not. Oh, obviously it will not work here only. Okay, so the text declaration. Okay, so let's see, let's refresh it. Okay, cool. So let me just change the color from here only. Okay, cool. So the colors, and let's refresh it. Okay, cool. Now you can see the change that I have made, right? So when I take my the cursor, it will change the color. So the hover property, you're adding a property to the a tag, and when the that property that or that action happen, it will change that, right? There is one other class too, that is maybe I would say the visited, right? So when any link is being visited, the color I would want to change from this to the gray color, right? I just want the color to change to be gray, right? If the link is active, then it actually you can add few things, right? So these are the pseudo classes. If you want to know more about the pseudo classes, then the links are in the description. You can go and check out and read the stuff, right? So if you want, you can change anything, right? You can actually add few other things, that is text shadow. You can see any property, you can add anything, right? Like if I want the shadow to be this, or I would like to say the background changes when I hover to background color to this, right? So let me just refresh it. Okay, so see, the background color changes. So these are some of the pseudo classes, right? You have learned about pseudo classes in this session. Okay, so next topic is the pseudo elements, right? So next topic is pseudo elements. So what are pseudo elements? As the name suggests, the pseudo elements are basically those things that actually makes for example, like let's go through that example, right? So for example, there is one p lorem, okay, lorem, okay, and between them I just want this one, right? I just want it, okay. So now you can see there are two paragraphs of lorem. Okay, now let's see. So the pseudo classes, as the name suggests, it is actually not the pseudo elements, are not actually the same elements. So basically what is pseudo elements is, for example, div colon the first child. What I want is their color to be changed to green, right? Let's see if that happens. Okay. So what here you have seen is the division tag here, the whole this thing. The first child, that is both p tags, are actually colored to be green, right? For example, there is few other tags. So for example, there is some span tag, and I have written my name, right? So I've written my name over here only. Okay. So what this element or this thing have done is basically it have changed the color of the first child, that is this one, have changed, right? If I add few other things like a new division tag, and I just want p, and I wanted the lorem, right? Or example, something like that. So okay, so this is how actually the division tag actually works, or the pseudo elements works. For example, if you want, like let's see, like if you want the p first letter, right? If you want the p first letter to be size of font size to be 50 pixel, right? Let's see how it is going to look like. So okay, now you can see that the first letter of that thing has a very big number, the very big letter, because you have actually targeted that thing only. That means, okay, that thing, right? For example, you are going to understand this, that you want the first letter of the p tag of every p tag to the font size to be this one. This is how actually the pseudo elements or the pseudo things actually works, right? So next topic that we are going to have is the opacity. Okay, so for the opacity part, I just want an image, right? Not exactly the image I would write. I will go to the Unsplash website and find one thing over here, right? So I just want any pic. I just take any picture from there only. So for example, I like this one and I would like to download this. So it will download it once and I just put it over here only, right? Just put it here and I just change the name to one. Okay, cool. So right, let me just shrink it once. Okay, so opacity is just same as you can understand from the your image knowledge, that opacity reduces the opacity of the image, as the name suggests. It is very simple. So let me just add the image. Okay, not this is how not actually the image is added. So you just have to write image and it will prompt you text thing. One dot jpg and you will find that image in your file, right? Okay, so that is very huge. So that is not a problem. We'll fix it as we have seen in the previous videos. So what I'm going to do is I just want to target the image tag and I would like to give the width to around 500 pixel, right? I just want to give the, okay, 500 pixel is little bit smaller, not little bit, very small. 1500 would be, no, actually I have zoomed it a little bit. Okay, cool. Because 500 is actually very big. Okay, so let's see how it actually looks. Let me just increase the aperture. Okay, cool. So now you can actually see the property of that, what that property means, the opacity. Like for example, I just want it to 0.5 and now let's see how it actually going to look. Okay, now you see that the opacity of the image have decreases from the original one. So let me just have it copy this so that you can we can compare this, right? So you will see two images over here, one back to each other, but no, we are not going to put the same property to everything. I just put the first one to an ID of test, right? And we are going to targeting only the test one. That is true, right? So now you can see the difference that this actually this one looks like this, and the changed one or the where we have put the opacity less. The maximum opacity of something is set to be maximum of 1. That is the maximum opacity or the actual opacity of the particular image, and the minimum is set to be 0. So I think you have got the point of the opacity thing in CSS, and many more things in the session that we have covered. So this is not actually coming. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So this is not going to come because the opacity is put to be 0. If you want to add a opacity of 0.2, it will, I think it will show a little bit. Okay, yeah, you can see that. So in today's session, we have covered so many topics like display, position, overflow, float, inline, block, align, combinators, pseudo classes, pseudo elements, and many more things. So if you want to know more about, and I will highly recommend that you should go to the below given link and read more about them, because in the 30-minute session it is not going to cover each and everything, right? So you should, it's a recommended thing that you should go to the given below site and go through that, right? But if you are just able that you just have taken the whole session, then it is pretty okay, then there is no need to go and check out, but it's a good practice that you can go and check out the website too. So for today's session, this much is sufficient, and we'll catch up tomorrow with a very great project on Zomato. We are going to clone the Zomato, how it actually going to look, not exactly same, but mostly, right? So in the today's session that we are going to do that thing. Until then, try watching and practicing things that we have covered, and you have any kind of doubt, then comment down below. If you like the video, then definitely go and check like the video, and you haven't subscribed this channel, then go and subscribe to the channel too. Until then, for the next video, we'll learn new things, and we have to make a new project. So till then, enjoy, happy coding, bye bye.